7, 8, and 9, you're doing multiplication of a vector by a scalar using a geometric approach. You're going to do some construction. You're going to use this tool to move your vector to P, and then you're going to scale your vector using this tool and then moving it either forward to make it longer or backwards if it has to be negative. So we'll go over on Alex and use that tool, but just what I'm going to write here is some instructions. So you're going to move the end point of A to P. So you're going to grab this tool right here, grab that, just pull it over so that the end point on here ends up moving it just over to there. Then scale to 1.7. So I'm just going to use this tool. I'm going to grab this and make it longer so that it says 1.7 next to it, and that's all I'm going to end up doing. So if I go over to Alex, we said we were going to do, whoops, doesn't want me to write. That's okay. We said we were going to make this 1.7 instead of 1.6. So, I know my arrow's going in a different direction, but just to give you an idea, again, it's going to erase that. Well, maybe I'll just do this one here. I'll just do this one here. I'm going to use this tool right here first to move it. So I'm going to grab this, and it doesn't want to cooperate, so I've got to use my mouse. So I got my hand tool. I'm going to grab that. I'm going to move the end point of A on top of P. I'm going to click in the gray box so you can see what I did. So I just picked up my vector, moved it so the end was on P. Then I'm going to use this tool right here with the two arrows. I'm going to make this one's going to be 1.6 instead of 1.0, so I'm going to make it longer. So I'm just going to grab the end and I'm just going to pull it until it says 1.6. Again, if I click in my gray box, that turns off my tool. So if I want to make it longer, I grab it. If I want to make it negative, I go in the opposite direction. Notice I went in the opposite direction. There I meant negative 2.3. Positive, I make it longer or shorter, but it stays positive. If it's negative, I go in the opposite direction. Again, changes the sign to a negative. So 1.6a, which is the one that we had here, would look something like that. And that's all I'm going to do to that. So in number 8, again, first thing I do is move this over here. So it would be 1.0a, but the end is on top of P. Now this one I want to construct so that it's negative 1.9. So what I'm going to do is grab the end and I'm going to pull it backwards until I see negative 1.9a. So this won't show up. The end point will be on P, and it'll go negative 1.9a. So just for fun, if I take the one that was over here, it was at 1.6. If I wanted it to be negative 1.9 again, I'm just going to grab the end, push it backwards until it says negative 1.9 instead of positive 1.6 is what it was at. So you just push it backwards until you get to the negative answer that you want. Number 8, or 9. Number 9, same kind of thing. I would start and move it up here. So I move it so the end was on there, pointing in the same direction, still says 1.0a. This time I want it to be negative 0.5a, so I'd grab this end, push it back this way until it was at negative 0.5, and so my end would be at P. This part would be gone. If I could draw straight, and it would look something like that when I was done. So move the end to this end point, use the scaling tool. If it's positive, pull the end forward. If it's negative, push it backward until you see the number that should show up there.